Oh man, so the Bitcoin community is absolutely buzzing as Bitcoin hovers close to all-time highs. I believe it's already created a new all-time high in euros, and we're just waiting for the final few $100 before we do so on the dollar chart, right? So I want to share with you in this video why this is just the beginning, and also why we shouldn't sleep on Ethereum. You guys have known, if you've been here in the earlier cycles, you will know that once it cools off on Bitcoin, you will see a movement on Ethereum. And Ethereum is creating a beautiful chart pattern from a technical point of view, but also from a fundamental point of view. Let's take a look at why we should not be sleeping on Ethereum. But first, let's take a look at what's happening on Bitcoin. And I'm going to take my time and I'm going to run you through all of the different chart timeframes, because we've got beautiful confluence right now, and this is the most powerful thing in technical analysis when you have confluence on your charts. And what that means is when different timeframes are agreeing with the story it's telling you. That's really powerful. If you're looking at your hourly chart and it's telling you a different thing from the daily chart, that's a problem, right? Because then you're swimming against the tide. But here, everything's moving in the same direction, and it's all suggesting the same thing, that we're going to have a powerful last quarter of a 4-year cycle, and we can see that our hourly chart is suggesting that as well. So let's start off with the hourly chart. And you guys will know that we started forming this, we entered this continuation pattern back on the 15th of October, 3 days ago, and we traded within this triangle. We got the breakout, which I announced on my Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, do so. I'll leave the link in the description. And we got this nice breakout of this red triangle, okay? And that's what we've seen here, taking us close to the all-time highs, which is this yellow line. Now, naturally, please don't be surprised if we get a calling off, right? You guys will know this. Let me get the brush tool out. You will know that if we get this breakout, it's fine to come back down and retest. And don't forget, the retest could also be the top of this red line here, okay? Not necessarily just the top of this wedge, the white one, which I'll come on to. So don't be worried if we get a slight calling off here. Even something like this, coming down to 62 before heading back up to our all-time highs on the hourly chart, okay? So that's the first target we want to meet, is the all-time highs, and we're getting very close to doing that. Let's consider that done. Now, the next target, which is what we were mentioning here, which you can look at more clearly on the 4-hourly chart, is the bigger continuation pattern, okay? Now, you'll remember we broke out of our cup and handle pattern, okay? This was our breakout, and then we entered this continuation pattern here. Now, when we had this pattern, which we kind of faked out, entered back in, and then we created the red triangle, the price target for that is sitting at 65,200, okay? So that's our next price target once we clear all-time highs. So that's what we're seeing on the 4-hourly time frame. So we're looking bullish on the hourly. We've got a good breakout. On the 4-hourly, we know our price target is 65. Now I want to zoom out and look at our daily, because our daily target is suggesting two things. First, you've got your, come back out. First, you've got your breakout from the cup and handle pattern, okay? Let's move you over there. So we created this massive cup and handle pattern starting from 13th of May, and there's your handle, and your technical price target here is suggesting a 75,000 Bitcoin, okay? So on the daily time chart, we're suggesting a really big push through, straight through all-time highs, consolidate a bit higher towards 75. But we're not going to stop there, guys, because we've got another price target, which I've shared with you, okay? If I zoom out a bit more, you will see that for a long time, we've had this big purple wedge, okay? And in essence, this purple wedge is acting as a massive continuation pattern. Again, Bitcoin's had its massive move. It's consolidated in here. It could have even consolidated a bit more and then broken out, but it's broken out nice and early. One bounce here off the bottom, here, a higher low, and boom, off we go. Really nice bullish setup on Bitcoin for us to head to the technical target on this big purple wedge is sitting at 84 to 85. Let's call it $85,000 per Bitcoin. Okay, so look at the beautiful confluence we're having on all of these time frames. The hourly, we're going to break all-time highs. On the 4-hourly, we need to get to $65,000 to confirm the breakout of that wedge. Okay. On the daily, you've got this massive, beautiful cup and handle pattern giving you a $75,000 target on Bitcoin. And also on the daily, you can see this massive purple continuation pattern forming with a price target of $85,000. So everything's suggesting we have a really good setup on Bitcoin right now. And it doesn't stop there, because I want to share this one more thing with you guys, which is on the weekly chart. Okay, let me just get back out and put us on the weekly. And what you can see here is I've gone ahead and drawn our Fibonacci extensions on the weekly. And what you can see, let's get a bit of a zoom in, is the following. So you can see here, swing low to swing high, and we had a bit of a fight here at the golden pocket, right? 0.168 mark, as expected. Now, what we've then gone on to do is we've broken up. So we got a bit of resistance there. We came back down, built some strength back up, and look at the weekly green candles here. 4 solid weekly green candles. And now, once we break all-time highs, which is obviously your 1 level on your Fibonacci, the new price target that I'm seeing here on Bitcoin is the golden pocket, which sits at 87,724. So that is my longer term price target for Bitcoin, and it ties in perfectly with the 85,000 I showed you from the purple wedge. So we're getting a whole bunch of confluence from numerous indicators, numerous patterns, numerous time frames, which can only give you confidence in Bitcoin moving one way, right? This is not a hunch. This is not a feeling. This is indicators all tying together to give you a beautiful pattern and give you beautiful conviction to the upside. And I'm not seeing any of the major indicators showing us we're going to get a sustained correction, right? On the hourly chart, we may get a calling off, but nothing to suggest a correction down here. Everything is pointing towards the higher level here, and that's the golden pocket ratio at 87,724. So really exciting there on Bitcoin. The other point to point out is we're forming this beautiful W pattern, which I've been speaking about for a long time. So I called this before the last bit of the W was formed, and you could see that this lovely, on the daily chart, this lovely W pattern is forming on our Bitcoin dominance, which is just showing that Bitcoin is going from strength to strength, forming this W pattern. And once we get a W pattern, if we can break out from the neckline, you could have explosive movement to the upside. Now, that's what we need to keep an eye out, is do we then finish that W pattern and do we break to the upside? Because that could suggest that we've only just started on Bitcoin, which marries up with what we're saying, right? The 75,000, 85,000 price target. This move to 64,800 all-time highs is just the beginning for Bitcoin. Now, enough for Bitcoin, because a lot of people right now are posting about Bitcoin and explaining their analyses. Hopefully, not many of them have explained it to you in as depth as I have, showing you numerous patterns on numerous time frames. But there's another sleeping horse, which I've been talking about for a while, and that is our good friend Ethereum. And we cannot sleep on Ethereum, guys. Look at this daily chart on Ethereum. That is a beautiful, we've mentioned this for a while on this channel now. Ethereum has been forming this beautiful cup and handle pattern. We got the breakout from the cup, and now what I want to show you is what we're seeing thereafter. Now, let me switch over to the 4-hourly to show you this a little bit easier. Now, what you'll see is on this 4-hourly chart, we create a head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders, and we got the breakout. We got the breakout, and as you would have expected, you get your resistance here, which we had at 3,969, and we got rejected, right? We got sent back down from this resistance level. Let's take a look at exactly what happened. Let's bring us across. We got rejected from this resistance. Now, when you get rejected from your cup and handle pattern, it's perfectly healthy, and I actually say it's a bullish move if you come back down and collect some support. Notice how I say collect. It just helps me think about it. Come and collect some support before you then head higher, okay? And that's what we wanted to see here. Now, what actually happened was we didn't even need to come all the way down to support. Let me zoom in and see if we can get a better view of this chart for you guys. So what you can see is you've not even come in to collect any support here. It didn't even, it barely wicked here, but we've managed to not break this neckline, which is really important for us here on the Ethereum chart. So you can see here on the 4-hourly candles, we've entered this red continuation pattern, okay? So you've had your move up, and now you've entered this continuation pattern and you expect a breakout to the upside. Now we can see that we've had a clean breakout, okay, which suggests that this breakout is now solid. I'd want to see it. Let's check the percentage. What's our measured percentage from this breakout? So fine, we're 2% up now from the breakout point, which suggests this is a nice clean breakout for us now. That validates the breakout, and now you want to see us head higher. You can see we've had a bit of resistance at the top of the wedge here, although the next point for us to go and break is the 3,964, okay? Don't be surprised if this comes down for a little bit, even collect some support and then heads higher before we get a breakout on Ethereum. But this level is going to be important at 3,969, because if we go back to our daily chart and clean this up, you will see we got rejected exactly there on this candle as well. Okay, that's exactly where we got rejected, is on that yellow line, and therefore I assume we may get rejected again from that level, or we'll need strong volume to push us through. So what's the wider price target on our head and shoulders pattern, right? On our inverse head and shoulders pattern, the target, which I've left here from a while ago, is 4,554. Okay, that's our price target on the inverse head and shoulders for Ethereum. So definitely a long way to go from Ethereum, and I can definitely see once Bitcoin cools off a little bit, once people's FOMO kind of subsides and maybe Bitcoin has a little retracement down, then we can see Ethereum really start to move. Okay, now I wouldn't even be surprised if they both move together, but we'll have to wait to see how that plays out, because I can't see people avoiding this inverse head and shoulders pattern. Traders are going to want to come in and trade this up to $4,500, in which case I can see this moving at the same time as Bitcoin. They're both forming beautiful chart patterns, so that's important to look at. Now let's take a look at the weekly on Ethereum, because we also want to take a look at what our Fibonacci levels are showing us, right? And the Fibonacci levels on the weekly, you can see here, are showing us a crazy pattern as well. So we can see here we had a whole bunch of resistance here dating back to August, where Bitcoin was fighting between the 0.5 and the 0.618 level, and now we're ready to head higher, right? It's coming out of this pocket at the 786 pocket, which is fantastic. And now your upwards price target suggests we could even see a 6,000 Bitcoin if we hit the 1.618 level on the golden ratio for Fibonacci. So a lot of potential here for Ethereum. You can see, just look at the move, a massive move up, come back down, move up, got rejected, and now it needs to head higher, right? That's what we're seeing here on Ethereum. Now let's take out our EMA ribbon just to get agreement, and you can see it's perfect there, guys. Nice big move. Look at the last time we bounced off of our EMA ribbon, a massive move, come back down, bounce. We wanted to go on a bigger move, we got rejected, and now we're ready to really climb up with momentum, with volume on Ethereum. So lovely chart setup there. Let's do the same for Bitcoin with our EMA ribbon out, and we can see exact same thing. A massive, look at this time when we bounced off this EMA ribbon, it was an absolute massive move. I mean, let's do the measured move from there. So the measured move from there all the way to the top, it's in the way, but let's say there, 6,000, let's use 6,408. You're looking at 5x, right, on your money in Bitcoin. It's come down, tested the ribbon. We never actually lost the ribbon. We got to bounce off the 0% Fibonacci ratio, and off you go, straight back up to now heading towards all-time highs. So really bullish setup. I mean, just look at that pattern. It's a beautiful pattern. 87,000 is in sight on this weekly chart, given the bounce we've had, right? Look at that. Boom, ready to go. So really nice setup from Bitcoin, really nice setup from Ethereum, and overall the market is in a good place. Don't be surprised on the downside to see if we get a little bit of a retracement. If we hit all-time highs and kind of come back down to test one of our next support levels, that's perfectly normal. So if you're trading on a short-term time frame, be very, very careful. We know we could be getting a bit of buy the rumor, sell the news on the ETF worries, but I think what's at play is bigger than this ETF right now. A lot of mainstream media putting headlines such as Bitcoin ETF has led the rally. I think this rally is happening anyway, right? It's the last quarter of a 4-year cycle, and we know that the adoption is picking up on Bitcoin. People are realizing this needs to move, and it's heading back to all-time highs, and this is just going to be the big beginning for Bitcoin. You've seen all the confluence I've shown. It's not my opinion. I'm showing you evidence from the charts, from the hourly, the 4-hourly, the daily. I've given you 2 different patterns, and I gave you the Fibonacci on the weekly as well. Bitcoin is heading to first 65, which is what I've said for a while, but then 75 and 85 and beyond, with the Fibonacci showing 87 in confluence with that 85. Ethereum, don't sleep on Ethereum, right, guys? I've always said, have allocation of your favorite altcoins. I know so many people have just sold their Ethereum to get into this Bitcoin pump, and then when Ethereum runs to $4,500, what are you doing, right? What are you doing? You're going to be FOMOing into Ethereum. That's why have your allocation. Don't try to time this crazy market. Just get into your high conviction plays and let them run, right? If you want to trade with a portion of your funds, go ahead and do so. If you're experienced and you know how to do so in this amount you're willing to lose, go and trade on the hourly, trade on the 4-hourly, trade on the daily even. That's fine. But for your long-term buy and hold to build wealth, buy and hold, right? Get into your high conviction plays, hold it, and let that ride and appreciate for you. As always, guys, there's the update on Bitcoin and Ethereum. If you enjoy my perspective and my blend between technical and fundamental analysis, then don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. It will mean a lot to me. As always, we've got the join button below. If you want to become a member of this channel, please consider becoming a member. Over there, you'll get access to our members only community where you can ask me questions, to look at your favorite projects, look at your favorite coins, ask me TA questions, ask me to do TA on your favorite coin, and I'll be receptive to that over there. As always, I'll pin the comment below for our new Discord community as well. Head over there. We've just set it up. You'll meet a few like-minded individuals, ask crypto questions, ask stock questions. I'll be in there as well answering your questions. Have a joke around, pull up charts, chat with the community. And as always, we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for joining.